You're listening to the Next Wave Radio Network.
Round 2, fight!
Can't we do our own secret shows?
All our shows are secret shows.
We have the tools, we have the talent.
You have to use so many cuss words.
Let's go.
Ooh, yeah!
We're not going to talk about politics, but we are going to talk about the Muppets.
Oh, we are.
Right. This is our no, we're not. It's our episode all about the Muppets. The Muppets are in vogue again. The Muppets are in the news. That we just had a new Muppet show revival, maybe soon to be a full season. People are talking about the Muppets. I love the Muppets. The Muppets have been in our lives since the beginning, I think.
Some way, shape, or form.
And who are we?
24601.
We are the Low Res High Def Podcast. My name is Joel, joined always by Joe. Hello, Joe.
Hi there.
And once again, a special guest, Mark, joining us. I don't know, we're doing last names here. Mark Z. How about I call you that?
Yeah.
We'll edit that
Perfect.
out.
Hey.
You guys have Mark Zuckerberg on the podcast?
That's right. But representing for the Muppets in your background there, so you've got your Kermit next to your your Jim Henson bobblehead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or Funko Pop.
The pop figure.
There you go.
And it has he's holding a little Kermit.
Oh, wow. That's meta.
Oh, he's got a little Kermit.
Oh.
Pretty great. Yeah.
We'll be talking about him and all things Muppets on this episode. I don't even know where to start because...
Yeah, let's talk about his voice, actually. I think with the new special, that's like a big topic of contention.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. Yeah.
It has been actually online, I think, for like the past few years, ever since Matt Vogel took it over.
Yeah, and I didn't really hear about it until, of course, last night when the new Muppet Show premiered. I think it was on ABC, but I saw it on Disney Plus if you've got it there. It is a one-time, for now, 30-minute kind of special harkening back to the original Muppets, the original Muppet Show that ran from, 76 to 81. I think it was on for 5 or 6 years, 5 seasons. Mm-hmm. That's the first time I think I've heard that new Kermit voice. Before it was, Steve Whitmer, who has been voicing him, I think, since Jim Henson's passing, right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah,
I thought Brian Henson voiced him.
He did it for
something on TV, I think, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
A lot of people's exposure to the Muppets, at least nowadays, is through the Muppet Christmas Carol. Mm-hmm. I do believe that was the first time, or the first notable appearance of Steve Whitmer as Kermit. And I remember even thinking at the time, oh man, it just sounds different, right? And it's unfair of us to expect somebody to be able to do, trying to find a unicorn, because it's like, hey, you've got to find somebody, first of all, who's into puppetry. That's got to be a really narrow section right there. Yeah. But then also is a consummate performer, has great comedic timing, can be up in front of millions of people, usually in uncomfortable positions, and props and everything. Yeah. And then on top of that, has to sound like the most recognizable, puppeteer ever. Yeah. So, tall order finding somebody to do that. And that guy had been around. He'd been with the Jim Henson Company for a long time, right? Since the late 90s, I believe. So, it's not like they just found this guy off the street. He's been part of the Jim Henson Company.
Yeah, and part of Muppet Studio.
Yeah, exactly. What was your thought?
I think when he first took over, and it came right after Muppets Most Wanted, I remember, because he was the voice of Constantine in that movie. And so at first it was like, that is so weird that the voice of Constantine has actually taken over Kermit. But also, when he first started doing Kermit, it was rough. So this being your first exposure to Matt's voice, I think you're spoiled. I think I was ready to be completely disappointed, because I have been every single time I watch him.
Oh, no.
But he did amazing. It was so good. I think it's his best, and he's only getting better. And I'll have to, when people say just wait it out, he'll, you know what I mean? He needs to grow into the role. I really feel like he's grown into it, and it felt like Kermit again, which was really refreshing.
Well, I think one of the things that helped too is that to be put back in that familiar atmosphere of the theater in the Muppet Show, and not just with Kermit, but with everybody. The way that they opened it up with the piano of Rainbow Connection kind of playing in the background as the lights are coming on, and then we get that the usual Scooter opening the door and telling the guest host 15 minutes until curtain. Once you get to that, especially if you're someone from our generation and you remember all those Muppet shows that opened the same way, there was kind of for me at least, there was kind of a magic that took over, and I wasn't trying to push things away. I was willing to accept whatever, please like, I am going on this journey with you. I am invested. Let's do this thing. And I wasn't disappointed. I noticed for like half a second, I was like, this guy doesn't sound like Jim Henson. And then after that, I was on board. I was fine
because
with it.
it's more than just the voice, right? It's like
the mannerisms,
right.
But it's also like you're only doing yourself a disservice if you're going to just keep on pushing something away or building that boundary just because this person doesn't sound exactly like what you grew up with.
Yeah.
Like that's a really hard, like you had just said, that's really hard to do. Not everyone is a Jim Cummings who can come in and like just do half of the Winnie the Pooh character voices as if the original actors were still on the mic.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
All right, hey, real quick, we're talking about Kermit voices. Let's all do it. Let's hear your Kermit.
After I just bashed Matt, now I have to live
Joel.
up to the.
It's Joel.
Well, I do have. It's one of my karaoke classics. Doing a Rainbow Connection, such as my love of the Muppets and Kermit and that song.
Yeah.
So I've had a little bit of practice doing the "Someday You'll Find It," the Rainbow Connection. Take it, Joe.
See, you sound just like Jim Henson, Kermit.
Well, thank you.
That's really good.
Unfortunately,
Yay.
I can't do any of the other skills that are required to play the puppet character.
That actually was a really good Kermit.
Let's hear it, Mark. Let's hear yours.
Hi ho, Kermit the Frog here.
There you go. Come on, Joe. You got to do it. Who's your Muppet voice? Who can you do?
Who's my Muppet? Scram!
I don't know who that was.
That's Oscar the Grouch.
Oh, okay, there you go. There you go.
Yeah,
that is your Muppet. I like that. Actually, that's a good question. Who is your favorite Muppet?
Well, okay, so it depends on what the property is. If we're talking Sesame Street Muppets,
Oh God.
then we're going.
Okay.
What you want to know? And there is a difference.
No, that's good. I'm glad you broached that because I wasn't sure if Sesame Street, if we were considering that Muppets, because they do cross over.
For this podcast, I prepared with only Muppet Show references.
Okay.
I didn't go like any of the other Jim Henson stuff. I didn't go Labyrinth or Dark Crystal
Fraggle
or the
Rock,
Fraggle
yeah.
Rock or Sesame Street. I just went, or even what was it? That show was Fairy Tale Theater.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Shelley Duvall. Like that
That's
was
right.
a Muppet thing too.
The Jim Henson Hour.
But there is a difference.
Ninja Turtles.
But if we're talking about Ninja Turtles, yeah,
no, there you go. Yeah, also Jim Henson.
So if we're talking Sesame Street, Grover's my guy.
Yeah.
I love Grover because he was a superhero.
That's right.
And obviously, voiced by Frank Oz. So I've got a soft spot for old Grover. And probably not coincidentally, my favorite Muppet is Gonzo. And he's kind of like the Muppets version of Grover. He's goofy and
Blue.
I love that character so much. And Blue, dabba dee dabba da.
Mark, what about you? Favorite Muppet?
Well, and I will say I do consider Sesame Street part of the Muppets just because they cross over, and
I think so too.
they live in the same universe. I mean,
Yeah.
Kermit was at Sesame Street all the time.
Big Bird is in the Muppet movie. That's right.
So my favorite Sesame Street Muppet is probably Ernie. I think he's hilarious. I love a good rascal and a good mischief maker.
yeah. Yeah.
Muppets though, I mean Kermit's the guy and Fozzie. I'm kind of I brought props, so I take
Take it seriously.
he's like my spirit animal kind of. So there you go.
I gotta go. I oscillate, but my North Star that I always come back to is Animal. Maybe because I was a drummer in high school, and so I've got that drummer instinct. But Animal that's my shit, dude. He just cracks me up. Especially if we want to. Well, I do want to get back to the new Muppet Show, but this episode we're just going to kind of talk about all things Muppets, the things we liked from about they've been around almost 50 years now. 50 years, 40 years. Yeah, 70. Yeah, coming up on 50 years. Holy shit. So they've done a lot of things. But one of my favorite things is I love the more modern era of the Muppets, maybe from the 2000s on. And, they weren't really producing movies. This was before the new movie came out. But they were always around. I think they'd been purchased by Disney. So Disney was trying to figure out what to do with them. And randomly, they just released a music video one day of the Muppets doing the Bohemian Rhapsody. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Have y'all seen that one?
I do. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
I know, me too. I was reminded of it recently, and just classic. And so I love, first of all, music and the Muppets are just like
Hand in hand.
intertwined, right? Like
Yep.
they are at their best. I think that's a prerequisite with the Muppets. There has to be some sort of musical elements.
Yes.
And then the other thing I love about the Muppets is when they take these characters and they transpose them into Christmas Carol or The Wizard of Oz. Maybe not that movie specifically, but I like the idea of those characters.
Treasure Island.
Playing other roles. So doing that with music videos and doing it with that Queen, the iconic music video, is one of my favorite Muppet things.
Dude, and then they harken back to that with a Queen outro on
in this new episode.
Special.
Nice way to tie it back
which
in.
I thought was fantastic.
There were a lot of references in the new special, which I really appreciated.
Oh, for sure.
I even caught a few references to, and I'll probably talk about it more later, Muppet Vision 3D in the segment with Honeydew. There's a sign in the background that says Muppet Lab Techs only or something like that, and that's what they called the staff at Muppet Vision 3D.
Yes, that's right.
It was kind of a cool little flashback there to something that was just recently taken away.
Dude.
One of the coolest attractions at Disney World, and I was so bummed when I read that they had taken that down. It was so freaking great.
Time for another prop.
Oh, look at you.
Oh, you've got are those the original ones?
Yes, I don't condone stealing glasses from Disney, but for Muppet Vision,
oh my God.
It was okay.
I hope you've taken a Clorox wipe to them since.
Well, you guys look great in Muppet Vision, by the way. I'm just going to say it.
Near, far.
I think they're renovating that, right? Or is that
They've torn it down. They're making it something else.
Yeah, it's going to become a...
But it's still going to be Muppets themed, isn't it?
No, they're moving the Muppets to the Rock and Roller Coaster.
That's what it is. Okay, so they're keeping Muppets around. It's just going to be in another theme. But yeah, that 3, you'll never be able to... It's kind of lost to history, too, because there isn't even a good...
There's some murmuring that they're going to release it on Apple Vision Pro.
Dude, of course, that's perfect.
That would be so great.
Yes.
That would be great.
I got to spend $3,500.
I don't own one, but I'll buy one for Muppet Vision 3D.
that would be cool to kind of have and be able to archive. Yeah. But yes, so going back to the new episode, the new special. Yes, tons of Easter eggs in it, tons of cameos, familiar faces, Muppets. I loved everything about it. Let me say that high level. I just had a dumb grin on my face from ear to ear the entire time, and up until that point, I wasn't expecting to get emotional at this Muppet show. Yeah. I should have known because within the first 90 seconds already, I'm getting a little choked up. The structuring, like Joe was saying, first of all, they recreated that entire
opening
intro shot for shot.
The opening
from it's just in widescreen now. But I went back and watched the original, the Muppets are in the same order and the same placement. Everything is just recreated, which really gives me a lot of hope because I loved that old Muppet show. I feel like that's kind of when they're at their best.
Yes.
When they're in, maybe a little short form. Behind the scenes of them putting on a show is just the best format for them. It gives them an excuse to bring in celebrities and then, play with them and kind of breaking the fourth wall.
Plus, it's a great way to introduce kind of micro plots. So, with Sabrina Carpenter, who was a special guest this time, there's a running theme of kind of Miss Piggy being jealous of the
rivalry.
Yeah, exactly. And so the little story arcs that they introduced, like they did with the old Muppet Show, it was perfect. It was just
dude, how great was she?
And I don't know anything about Sabrina Carpenter. I was just about to say the same thing, Joel. I don't know anything about her, but I thought she was really great in this first guest hosting role or guest starring role. Yeah. I thought she knew the energy, she knew the assignment.
Understood the assignment,
basically, and she totally got it. Man, beautiful voice. Beautiful voice. It's just funny because I'm watching her on the Muppet Show and I'm like, isn't this the chick whose album covers is her giving someone a blowjob or something?
Well, she's definitely and that's why I think she was a perfect way to kick this off because it was kind of a little bit of a reset. And I do think the Muppets are at their best when there's a little bit of edginess, sexiness, raunchiness, even a little bit.
PG.
Which they were able to work in. There were some one-liners there.
I was worried at first, when they announced it was going to be Sabrina Carpenter, because her album is very risque, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh, it feels too far, but I think they did it with taste.
I think it was as tasteful as it needed to be.
Yeah, but they didn't censor really the music.
Right.
It had all the innuendos. You never know where they're going to land with it. You know what I mean? Who's getting censored? It's like a tug of war. But they just kind of did it. And it was this actually fits really well. This rendition of Man-Child is great. So
I wonder how hands-off Disney was with this because it feels like they just gave Seth Rogen some money. Hey, you like puppets? Do your thing, and we'll air it if it's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't feel like there was a lot of notes, which is refreshing and promising for the future of the Muppets.
I think so too. It felt good. It felt right, and so hopefully this leads to a good long run. And if they ever mess up, they just know they need to fall on the Freaks and Geeks cast again. Like, who's next on the line? Because first it was Jason Segel, and then it was Seth Rogen.
That's right,
James Franco.
Oh my gosh! Oh no, now that may be a little too risky.
Too far.
Although I would love to see a Muppet version of James Franco. That'd be fun. We can Muppetize them.
He's that guy in Electric Mayhem with no eyes. No, I'm just.
All right. Well, as long as we're talking TV with the Muppets, other TV shows, though, that the Muppets did, there was one from, I believe, 2015 or 14. This was like, we were talking about this earlier. This was around the Office, when the Office was big. And again, Disney, not quite sure what to do with the Muppets. They had a hit on their hands with that 2011, the Jason Segel Muppet movie what was that called? Just The Muppets? I can't remember.
Just
The Muppets.
It's confusing.
Yeah, The Muppets, I think.
We're running out of iterations of Muppet titles because you've got The Muppets, and this show was actually just called The Muppets, but it was in the lowercase Office font because it was very much shot in that style. It was like a mockumentary. There was no laugh track, which I wanted to bring up. Were you guys bugged by the laugh track in the new Muppet Show?
No, because it's like the original Muppet Show.
Yeah, but we just don't.
And then they would cut to like the fake audience
right?
and stuff, so it kind of built the illusion. And what you do with that, you're also kind of setting the stage for future episodes where it's like, oh, they'll have other guest stars, which I thought was maybe the weakest part of this, was cutting to Maya Rudolph, who I love, but she was unnecessary ultimately. And maybe the least funny part of the show,
except for when she died. It was nice.
That was really funny.
Oh, and there you go. See, there's another character they worked in. They got the news reporter coming back and announcing the death of Maya Rudolph.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about Maya Rudolph. I haven't looked into it, but I feel like she's been in everything they've done lately.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like, I think she was in the Haunted Mansion thing they did. They did a... Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think a lot of the decision making with, the stars that they're going to pair with the Muppets have to do with like cross appeal. Like, Sabrina Carpenter, everybody kind of knows Sabrina Carpenter a little bit. You either know her music or, she's done some acting, or at least have heard her name. Joe, you were familiar of the name if you didn't know what she had done prior to this. And I feel like Maya Rudolph's right there too. Like, who hates Maya Rudolph?
Yeah.
Not very polarizing. Anyway.
No, Amy Poehler likes her a lot.
No. So yes, 2015. This show, I think it only went for one season, unfortunately, but you can watch it all on Disney Plus. It's great. I loved it, and it was that same kind of edgy humor that I think they're at their best when they're kind of pushing the boundary. Some of the jokes go over the kids' heads, but the adults are winking back at them. Yes, Joe?
Was this the show people were like losing their minds because Kermit and Miss Piggy weren't dating anymore or something?
Yeah, it starts off because they wanted to kind of have like a Jim, Pam, will they, won't they, and yeah, I get it. And there was a scene, we were all sending each other clips from different Muppet media things, and one that I had sent you guys was a scene from an episode where they're all hungover after a night of karaoke and kind of joking about who was with who last night. It's just some like jokes there that like you watch it and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this. Can't believe they're getting away with this. Especially the Disney like signed off on this. But there's some like human Muppet romances going on that they explore. I don't know. I thought it was really well done.
I mean, they've been doing that since the 80s.
That is true. That is true.
Where Miss Piggy and Charles Grodin hooked up in the Great Muppet Caper, I think.
Well, and if you watched the Video Game Awards, implied heavily that Jeff Keighley fucked Miss Piggy apparently too. Which I thought, I was like, wow.
I mean, would you?
Well, fuck Jeff. Well, yeah, I mean, if I can get tickets to the Video Game Awards, sure. Anything's on the table. Oh, you talking about fucking Miss Piggy? Oh, my bad.
Yes.
I thought you meant Jeff Keighley. Yeah, man.
He thought it was obvious for Miss Piggy.
Oh, it goes without saying.
I'm more of a Janice fan. Is there a Muppet you would fuck? Who would you fuck?
I mean, I could make a list. I mean, there's so many.
Going back to Gonzo?
I mean, I basically all of them except for Dr. Teeth because it's in the name.
Yeah, good call. Pretty dangerous. Yeah. No, I always had a thing for Janice. And again, animal. If the spirit moves. Been having a few drinks and, is he Muppet? Is he man? Who knows?
He's an animal. It's in his name.
Yeah, he was.
Would he scream woman while you're doing it with him? Like,
Woman.
Oh, God. Let's change the subject. Change topics.
Yeah. Going back to that show, though, it was interesting, and I feel like it only went one season because I feel like Muppets has to appeal to both kids and adults, and that one kind of they're always trying to find that balance, and that one I feel like they skewed a little too adult. Like
it was definitely skewed adult.
Yeah. So it was interesting, but I was okay when it only went one season. But to each their own.
No, you're right. It would have been hard to maintain. I just appreciate that they were like taking risks, but finding that balance and that's where the Muppets have always been great because, I mean, just by nature, it's inherently silly. And this is another thing I wanted to talk about, just like puppetry in general, because it's its own medium.
Mm-hmm.
We've got animation, we've got live action, we have all different kinds of animation. We've got stop motion animation. Puppetry is, since the passing of Jim Henson, really unexplored. And I think there was a time where everybody thought when computer animation was coming around and CGI that we just don't need puppets anymore. We can do it much like they did with 2D animation. Right? We don't need 2D animation anymore. We're going to do everything with computers. And I'm glad that we have not gone down that path, that we still have puppets and Muppets in our lives. But there's what I love, and especially watching the new show last night, is knowing that they're puppets and knowing that there are people under the stage and behind that are throwing sheep, that are, that they even, somebody pointed out, they didn't even remove the poles on the hands.
The sticks.
The sticks, which they would do usually for like movies and I think even the TV shows they've done, but they just left them in. And I love that. It's that tactile, that feel, that felt.
That's
I felt the felt.
That's what I was going to touch on. Like, what I love about this show and the fact that, it brings me so much joy, not just because it works, but because of everything about this show is so tangible.
Yeah.
Not just the Muppets, but the sets are just like the old 70s and 80s TV show. Like, that's an actual set. They didn't CG anything.
Yeah, doesn't look like it.
In this, at least not that I saw, they didn't CG anything of any significance. So it felt like everything had a weight and a gravity, and again, makes it easy to engage. Yeah. And that's where it gives me hope that something like this gains popularity and gains momentum, that we see more stuff like this again. Not Muppet clones, but we see more Muppet projects. Yeah. It brings me back, you mentioned Muppet Christmas Carol earlier.
Yes.
And that's a movie I didn't experience until after I got married. And
really?
Sarah showed it to me.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Like I hadn't seen, and now it's like a Christmas staple.
Classic,
it's probably my favorite version of A Christmas Carol. It's so good.
Oh yeah.
And
a lot of people do say that.
One of the reasons why is, again, that tangibility. You've got this entire movie where it's these sets built for people to be underneath, and using the puppet, but you buy it, and you buy it almost exclusively because the one human or two or whatever humans that they cast in this movie,
he's selling it.
Sell it. They believe it. They are treating people. What was it? I saw something about it. It was like the reason why A Muppet Christmas Carol works is because Michael Caine, he looks at the Muppets like there's nothing different about them or something like that.
Yeah.
He's the human among the Muppets. And the reason why Muppet Treasure Island works is because Tim Curry believes he's a Muppet in the movie, and it's like, I kind of see that. Yeah. And that's what I love about, bringing in these guest hosts and people like Sabrina Carpenter, who bought in. She bought in, and she didn't try to conflict with what they were doing. She didn't try to be her in this world. She tried to fit in what the mission statement was. And I think that's, that speaks volumes to what they can accomplish if they decide to keep going with this project.
Yeah, you talk about celebrities talking to the Muppets. I do notice that anytime you see them, especially when they're on Johnny Carson or Jay Leno, being interviewed, there's there isn't really a lot of acting required by the other person to talk to the Muppets. You know, you would think it would be harder. And of course, Michael Caine is emoting and he's giving a performance. A little more difficult there, but just like talking to him, it always surprises me. Like people just, and kids, you know, I love it on the old Sesame Street when like kids are talking to the Muppets.
Yeah.
Even though there's clearly a human crouched inches from you know, with his hand up the puppet's ass, but they are looking straight into the eyes of Kermit or whoever. There's people just get lost in that magic, and it just goes to show it doesn't have to be photorealistic. We don't need CGI to kind of sell the humanity behind.
Yeah, it's also something about the Muppets design is just you inherently just want to look at Kermit in the eyes. And I saw an interview with Jason Segel after doing that movie where he said that they would get into like really good scenes and he's acting and something about the magic of the Muppets, but then he said after they say cut that the puppeteers do relax and the Kermit just goes
it collapses.
Yeah, and Jason Segel would trip out about that, but once they said on, it's like, oh, he's back. Like it's almost like an Avatar situation or something like that.
It's like the soul kind of being put back into it and then sucked out as the puppeteer.
It's amazing.
It's a really unique art that I'm glad we still have. It hasn't been replaced, and I hope it sticks around.
To speak to that just a little bit, like I think it was Kimmel had interviewed the Muppets on his show.
Yeah.
And then he talked about it in some kind of interview or whatever later on. And it was just like his whole mentality behind it was like, I grew up watching these Muppets on TV. Like it felt weird not to look them in the eyes. Like they formed the DNA of who I am. And so it just seemed natural just to kind of keep looking at them.
They've earned their humanity. Oh, I love that. Real quick before I forget, going back to Christmas Carol, one of the things I love about the Muppets too, and we're talking about, you know, CGI versus practical, and all that stuff is practical, but the types of things, the types of shots that they can produce practically. My favorite shot in that movie is where Bob Cratchit has Tiny Tim on his shoulder, and they're singing after they're walking home, and it's that shot. You see his feet walking. Yep. Boom, 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 boom. Yes. But it's if you look at the ground, the street that they're walking on, this cobblestone street, it's almost like a barrel that's rotating. It's got this three-dimensionality to it, but this curvature and it just sells the illusion. If you study it too closely, you kind of realize, oh, he's just like walking on this barrel that's rotating, and the background is kind of slowly moving away, but it just sells the shot. So I love that practical stuff. One of my favorite shots is from was it the original Muppet movie? What's the one where they're all riding the bicycles? Do you remember that one?
That's the Muppet movie.
It's the Muppet movie where
I'm pretty sure that's the Muppet movie.
Blew my mind, and I've seen some behind the scenes. There's a great documentary, by the way. Speaking of Disney Plus, on Jim Henson, and they go into a lot of this stuff. But the ingenuity behind it, they just and now. It's getting a little bit away from puppetry when you start adding like mechanics into it, because they just basically had this self-riding bicycle.
It's kind of like a marionette, though, if you think about it.
Yes, because they were supporting it above, right, as they were going down, and then there's just like this one shot where the whole Muppet crew is bicycling down, and they had cleverly tied them together, so it was almost more like a four-wheeled car. It just from the perspective looked like. So just I love that type of filmmaking. That's the stuff that kind of, we were talking about Roger Rabbit a few weeks ago on our animated movies episode, and the scene in the bar where all the little mechanical arms are holding the trays that then get drawn over in the movie. But you still got to do that shit practically. So I love that stuff. And Muppets, Jim Henson was on the kind of foreground of selling those illusions.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing that makes the Muppets work is they were engineering scenes almost like theater productions. Like if you break down Sabrina Carpenter's musical number in the bar, that's actually really hard to achieve, to be in a bar fight with Muppets.
Oh, yeah.
And dance and sing and
feathers flying.
Right. The theatricality of it is incredible. And I think that if you compare that to something like the Haunted Mansion special, which I really, really love, they rely so much on CG effects and compositing things in and using that kind of trickery. And it doesn't feel as tangible. And that was one of the things I really liked about this special. It was like, I love, because I'm a puppeteer, actually. I did marionette puppetry for a while. And
right.
And I've done traditional puppetry. And so looking at that scene and just imagining the blocking of this it's incredible. It really is done as true to the old stuff as it possibly can be, and that's what makes it so fun to watch.
Agreed.
It's funny the solutions that they had to come up with, like Joel had kind of talked about with like marionettes on bicycles and stuff. And then, sometimes you think about the solutions that didn't quite work so well. My mind immediately goes to the Miss Piggy chase in the Muppets Take Manhattan, where they do like wide shots and it's clearly a dude dressed up like Miss Piggy roller skating after this guy.
Yeah, they're not all winners. That's actually my least favorite.
They're not all winners.
Yeah,
it's true.
And also, who knows how many takes these things take? There's a great scene in the Christmas. I can't remember, and it's like something Otter.
Oh, Emmett Otter's
Jug Band Christmas.
Yes, there's a famous scene where like the drum has to like roll out of the building in a really certain specific comical way, and they did that like 50 times just to get the look right. Oh god. But the whole time the puppeteers are still improvising based on what the drum does.
I love that.
It's on YouTube. You have to check it out. It's so good. But that's like Muppet magic right there. It's when it doesn't work too.
What's y'all's favorite Muppet movie?
Christmas Carol.
This is a hot take, but I do love the Jason Segel Muppets movie.
I do too.
It was approached with the respect and the love for the franchise. And there's like a really famous quote from Jason Segel that I can't find, but it basically says like we are the Muppets. And it's like they represent us not just at our youngest, but at our oldest. And he you could tell he approached it with that, and the life lesson in there is so good, and it just makes you feel good. I don't know. It gives me the warm fuzzies.
That's probably my second or third favorite.
I already knew Chris Cooper was a good actor, but that movie sold me on like his comedic chops. I was like, oh my god, this guy's funny. This guy is really funny.
Maniacal laugh. Maniacal laugh. Yeah, he's great.
So good.
Mine's probably, I have a soft spot for the Muppets Take Manhattan. And I bet if I went back and watched it again, Joe's sneering at me. For me, I think it's the music. Now, I understand it's not the strongest, and it's the whole we're getting the band back together, but for the majority of the movie, the band is apart. And then for another chunk of the movie, like Kermit just has amnesia, gets hit by a car, so it goes some interesting
just
places.
Gets a job at an advertising agency.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, I'm Jill. This is Phil. Jill. I love them. But for me, it's the music. Henry Mancini writing songs, and that whole last act where they're putting on like that. That's what you want out of the Muppets, right? We're putting on a show, and we need to get the band back together. And him getting married, which maybe a little problematic in retrospect. That Miss Piggy's just basically forcing him in front of all of his friends in public, putting him on the spot. Oh, this is the real marriage. But still, I like that one a lot.
Yeah,
and that was the first time we saw the Muppet Babies.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
TV shows. Did you guys watch that cartoon, Muppet Babies?
Of course.
That was Frank Welker's Kermit, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Or yeah.
I thought he did Animal. Animal.
I think he's done a few.
Maybe
he does a few of
Fozzie.
the voices.
Yeah.
But I liked that show, even though it's Muppets, but it's not Muppets, right? It's animated, but I give it a pass because I still feel like it had the spirit of the Muppets, and I liked. Joe disagrees.
Dude, no. I agree with you. I would say that it is absolutely like spiritually as Muppet as you can get for the mid to late 80s. Like mid to late 80s. The proving ground was animation. Mm-hmm. It was cartoons, the Saturday morning cartoons, and they got in there, and they were one of the best. They were tops. You had this cool marriage of the Muppets, and like they kept jumping in with like Spielberg properties and stuff, and interacting with that, and
daydreaming,
like playing around. Instead of doing a show, it was always like daydreams, and what they were playing, and it was like they still kind of had some of those elements of the Muppet Show, but it was like distilled down to what worked for kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, and it was also like a merch wellspring for them, I'm sure. You know what I mean? I mean, I had
That's true.
a baby Kermit, and I had a baby Fozzie growing up. So
hell yeah.
That's probably maybe my first introduction to them.
Some of the best McDonald's toys.
Oh,
yes.
They did.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
I also I was talking earlier about the Bohemian Rhapsody music videos. I love it when Muppets kind of branch out and show up in other media. And one of my favorites is they used to do some yearly calendars back in the late 90s, maybe even early 2000s, where every month was another movie poster. But it was obviously they would have a Muppet swapped out, so you had like Pork Fiction and Frog Gump. There was a Forrest Gump one with Kermit. I can't remember, but every month had a different clever one. So I just love when the Muppets go out into other properties.
Yeah.
Good Muppets parody. I need to, sometimes calendars are cyclical, so like every now and then they become accurate to the year again. I gotta find some of those old ones on eBay or something. I would love to see that.
Did you guys catch the Keegan Michael Key, his episode of SNL where they did the bouncers, the Muppet Show bouncers?
No.
Oh my God. It is one of the funniest bits. So basically, like, they got like the actual Muppets, and they did this whole bit where, like, they're doing the show, and then like the old guys, Waldorf and what's his name?
Statler
and Waldorf. So like they're up there heckling, and the bouncers show up for the theater to like threaten to kick them out. And it's hilarious. It's so good, and like they end up like just beating the hell out of one of the guys. You guys should watch it if you get a chance. But like to just kind of piggyback on what Joel was saying, when the Muppets kind of sneak up in other mediums, like this was one that I was not expecting. And adored. I thought it was a really good use of the property.
Yeah, I gotta check this out. I know one thing that a lot of people have been like clamoring for is for Rian Johnson to do a Knives Out with the Muppets, but just play it straight, like a murder mystery, and they're just like Kermit as blank. You know what I mean? Like that would be so good.
My
God, I'm on board. I would do that. Whatever they will allow them to do. I just want Muppets and everything.
Right.
Sure.
They did do a Knives Out parody on Sesame Street, which was pretty good.
Where they had like a puppet of Benoit Blanc, right?
Yes.
I saw that, yes.
But I want like I want the actual thing.
Hey, Joel, so like you're the only other one that's, I guess, of this group that's old enough to like remember the original Muppet Show. Did you have any bits that stuck with you?
I was revisiting some of them last night because after watching that new one, I was like thirsty for the old ones. So I was like, all right, I got to go back. I got to keep this Muppet train going. And watched the Luke Hamill, the Mark Hamill Star Wars episode where he showed up. But he's actually like playing Luke Skywalker in character. He's there with C-3PO and R2-D2. Yes. Chewbacca shows up at the end. But he's totally hamming it up. And, knowing the Mark Hamill that we all know nowadays, it was great to see because, up until that point, you just saw this straight Mark Hamill. You didn't see this silly side that he has beneath him. So that was kind of one of the first glimpses of that silly side of Mark Hamill. And then halfway through the episode, he's like, they want him to sing, and he's like, "Oh, I can't sing, but my friend Mark Hamill can. He's just outside." So he like goes out the door, comes back in a costume change, and they all just play it like as if, "Oh yeah, your friend Mark Hamill's here."
Was that before Empire? I would imagine it had to have
yes,
been, right?
I believe so. I think so. It was like 77
was like 78.
I wonder if that's
79.
What led to Yoda. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh, interesting. Yes, because the Muppets then invaded
right.
Star Wars. I want to make them sound like a virus.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I wonder if there's like
this is another thing too. Like I was probably way older than I should have been before I realized that Jim Henson and Frank Oz were doing the majority of the Muppet voices. Like, to know that like Ralph the dog was also Kermit, and then also Gonzo was. How about Bert and Ernie?
Yes.
That Bert and Ernie were Frank Oz, and you listen to it now. I mean, obviously, they're not even trying to do other voices, right? It's their voices. They have very distinct puppetry, Muppety voices anyway. But that just goes to show how much of the visual and their performances and the environment sold that. Even though the voice was clearly like even when I watched Mr. Rogers back in the day, and he was doing his little shitty puppet land where he would go into the little
take it easy on Mr. Rogers.
I'm the Queen of Neverland or whatever it was.
Henrietta,
it was like, there you go. Yeah, even then I was like, that's just Mr. Rogers. But I never had that. I never had that impression with the.
It's the land of fucking make believe, Joel.
Well, do better. Do better voices. Anyway, but yeah, never had that with the Muppets.
That's interesting.
No.
And, we talked about Matt Vogel. He's been doing so many of the characters because I think he does like Sam the Eagle, and he's starting to take over. There's too many characters. But what was really cool about the special is we got a returning character that we hadn't seen in a little bit. And that's Rizzo the Rat.
Oh, yes. I know.
Because that was one of Steve
was another one of
Whitmire's
his,
characters also.
That's right.
And so it was awesome to see Rizzo do blinding. Wasn't blinded by the lights or whatever.
Yeah, the weekend song.
And we talked about kind of like behind the scenes, like imagining it, like all the little rats dancing.
Yes!
You have to imagine all the puppeteers were just having a blast.
It's
that
the
day.
funniest thing. I'll tell you, the funniest sight gag in that whole episode for me was the Bunsen and Beaker segment. and it was such a simple. He's like, here, Beaker, come sit in this chair. And he's like, let me adjust the height of the chair for you. And he just drops down like
Gently.
and just imagine what it looks like from behind. It's just two guys pantomiming that in perfect, but it's so hilarious, and it was just that's the stuff I love, man.
That bit terrified my son, by the way.
The eyeballs.
Oh, his eyes popping out.
The eyeballs, yeah.
Yeah.
My son didn't quite know how to process that. I was like, oh boy.
They get into some surrealism. That's another thing. You go back and look at the old Jim Henson stuff. He was definitely into some like experimental film and arts. So it's nice to see they've still got that in their DNA as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one of my favorite original Muppet Show moments was when Alice Cooper was their guest host. And,
oh, yeah. You sent me that clip.
There was a lot of like dark stuff they did in that episode, but like his performance of Welcome to My Nightmare in that episode of The Muppet Show is like mind-blowing and in a good way. It's so good. It's like, wow. Like just the atmosphere of him like walking around like he's in Dracula's castle and like the little Muppety things that they create. Like whenever they've got one of these guest stars, it seems they always kind of craft some unique Muppet that fits whoever that person is. And they did that for this, and it was really good.
I love when they make Muppet versions of the celebrities.
Oh, yeah. Christopher Reeve was a guest host on an episode of The Muppet Show.
That's right.
He did like I think he did a Shakespeare bit, and he had a skull, and the skull was talking back to him. So good, man. It brings back all these like great memories. If this show does one thing, this new show does one thing really, really, really right, it's the way that it kind of transports you back.
Yeah.
Especially if you grew up on The Muppet Show like I did.
Same. I want to do a little test here. We're going to do a little call and response. All right. This is just a test. Is whatever the first thing comes to your mind.
Cock.
No, I haven't said anything yet, Joe. I haven't said anything.
Oh, shit.
Here we go. Phenomena. There you go. You passed. Yeah, that's another thing, man. That song, that was the original Muppet Show too, right?
Yeah.
Actually, have you guys gone back and watched like the commercials that they used to do before they were like the actual Muppets? I think even before Kermit was their main character.
No.
Yeah, no, I haven't either.
What were they advertising?
Oh, brands of coffee. This is like they were all black and white. This was like 60s when they were first. When it was Jim Henson and his wife. Well, they had a small budget. That's how they started this whole puppetry thing. Doing local commercials with bespoke puppets, and it gained in popularity. And other people started asking him to bring his characters into commercials. And that was the genesis of the Muppets.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's fun to go back and watch it. I mean, it's clearly still Jim Henson's voice doing the voices of all these characters, but you get to see where it all began. It's weird to see them all in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's like a series of those that like you can see the kind of like the birth of Kermit. Like that's where Kermit kind of came from. I've seen those, but I haven't seen like the rest of this series.
Yeah, there's like maybe 5 or 6 of them. Again, they're in that documentary. Yeah, I love seeing that. But Muppets apparently making a comeback into movie theaters as well with a Miss Piggy movie that is in pre-production now. With who's attached to that? A couple of
Miss Piggy.
No. Thank you, Joe.
You just said it.
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone, yes.
Yeah.
And somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to look it up.
I want to say Seth Rogen's still involved, right? Or was he only involved with this? I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly.
If he's not, he should be. Miss Piggy movie. Here we go.
What would be awesome is if it's the director of Begonia, since it's Emma Stone. We just have this really like surreal Miss Piggy movie.
That would be an effed up Muppets movie. Oh, there you go. Jennifer Lawrence and Emma Stone. That's what it is, developing Miss Piggy. How amazing is that going to be?
It's going to be good.
I mean, she's not even my favorite character, but I'm all about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, a film about the temperamental diva puppet is in early development at Disney.
Bring it on.
Well, they just announced their new CEO, Josh.
That's right.
I can't remember his last name.
Amaro or something
Amaro,
like
yeah.
that.
And he said he's a huge Muppets fan. He wants to bring them even more into the parks, and and he's probably the one spearheading the Muppet Vision 3D Apple Vision Pro revival. So hopefully it's in good hands. I mean,
between that,
Josh we trust, I guess.
Yeah, between that and Seth Rogen and Jason Segel and all these. Is it Segel or Segal? No, Jason Segel.
I think it's Segel.
Steven Seagal. Jason Segel.
yeah.
Which I would also watch that Muppet pairing. With Steven Seagal. Has he ever been in just kicking ass with Muppets?
Muppets Under Siege.
And I'm sure Steve Seagal would love the work, So.
that's true. Upstaged by a bunch of Muppets.
Miss Piggy jumps topless out of the cake.
Oh, God.
If you're familiar with that scene.
Wasn't he the one who had those viral videos a couple of years ago where he was doing some demonstrations, but the guys he was doing,
it was like people would just walk up to him slowly and then then
just jump over, just fall down,
and he'd do this stuff where it's like, "Come after me here, all right."
Right.
And then he'd
so he's basically worked with Muppets before then already, right? So one step removed. All right. Well, the future looks bright then for the Muppets, whether it be movies or TV or music videos or commercials even. Yeah, that's another thing. I've seen them hawking Hotels.com. And they bafflingly showing up in those.
Also, video games, sort of. They are in Kermit is a playable character in Disney Speedstorm. So,
oh really?
Not a lot of Muppet video games, though, are there?
Oh, there's plenty of Muppet video games.
Yeah,
there's a lot of Muppet video games,
especially in like the NES, SNES era.
I've got a Kermit the Frog license to croak for the Game Boy Advance. Bro, there's a lot of Muppet video games. You just need to know where to look.
I guess
the black market.
Awesome,
dude. They need to include them in the next Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
I guess they can now, can't they?
Incredible.
There you go.
Even just to see the characters of Kingdom Hearts as like puppets, because when they get transported to the world, they inherit
the Muppet Sora,
that's right,
qualities of the series. So to see a Muppet Sora would be great.
Muppet
Goofy.
Yes. Muppet Goofy, Muppet Donald. Yeah.
Who knows?
Let's make it happen.
The sky's the limit. Well, I'm glad that we live in a world where the Muppets are on screens again, and hopefully gaining audience, hopefully being exposed to. Joe, did you let your kids then? You said watch the last one. You said James was terrified.
I let James watch it.
Harper
was still in school, but I got James. I get him from school early. And then I get Harper an hour later. So we sat down, and I was like, "Hey, I got to watch this for the podcast tonight. Why don't you sit down?" And so we watched it, and he knows the Muppets from the Christmas Carol.
Oh,
like
of course.
They make my wife play the soundtrack in the car when we're driving around. They're like,
nice.
"Can you play the Muppets Christmas Carol?" So he knew all the characters, but like this setting was really different for him.
Yeah.
So he kind of sat there almost like watching it like some kind of anthropologist. Like he was like,
what are these creatures?
What is this?
Well, and just explaining the concept of like a variety show. Like we don't really have variety shows in the year 2026 anymore.
Which again, like what I'm saying, like the tangibility, that's really cool that like this is something that they're bringing to a new generation.
Yeah.
They're going to understand, and maybe that's going to ignite some kind of interest in like live theater. Like this is a thing you would go to, and it's performed in front of you live. But yeah, once we got to the Beaker and Honeydew bit with the eyeballs, I think he got a little weirded out by that.
A little freaked out.
Well, yeah, because Beaker wasn't just losing his eyes, and he wasn't even doing it goofily. Like he was terrified as his like the look on Beaker's face while his eyeballs are popping out. I'm like, this is terrifying. My son's going to need therapy.
Yeah. Hey man, the world of Muppets can be a dangerous place sometimes. I remember being scarred by that big, large Muppet, like eating a smaller one.
Sweetums
from the old Muppet show. Sweetums, yeah. Sweetums was no, it wasn't Sweetums. It was it was like a larger version of the Cookie Monster, and he was just eating objects, and then ultimately ended up eating another Muppet. Yeah, see, this is
God,
probably earlier back in the darker days of the Muppets. Let's wrap this up, guys. Thanks for joining, talking all things Muppets. And
thank you.
Doing your homework, watching that show, and hopefully we'll get more of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Joe,
that's right.
Good talking to you again.
Hey, it's great talking to you. Thank you so much for spearheading this.
Of course. Mark, good seeing you again. Thanks for bringing your props.
Thank you. Waka waka.
And props to you, the listener, for making it this far. If you did, you can subscribe to this show on our website, lowreshighDef.com. If you're watching us on YouTube, please give us a little like and subscribe. And tune in next time when we're talking about Who knows what? Probably something you'll like, though, if you liked this episode.
It's probably something you'll like.
Well, we were talking about movies, how we would change them, sequels that we didn't like, and how we would have done them. We were talking about The Dark Knight Rises and Bane being the bane of my existence as a character in that movie. And
you have my permission to die.
Yeah,
one of the best death scenes in cinema history is in that movie with what's her name? Marion. She plays like the
Cotillard.
Yes.
Marion Cotillard.
And she just goes like that's her death scene, and it's like, really? After all, like she's like threatening to bomb the world with a nuke, and she just goes like,
yes, she's the big baddie.
She even like almost sticks her tongue out. They might as well have just drawn X's on her eyes.
Yes, a lot of problems with that movie. Joe regaled us with his idea for what a sequel to The Dark Knight would have been, and it was just tons better than what we actually got. And so
I was this close to like legit crafting an email to like to Christopher Nolan or somebody and be like,
to whom it may concern.
Here's an outline for the next Dark Knight movie, like just in case anyone's interested.
In case you're looking for inspiration.
Yeah.
No, it would have been so good that I'm not going to spoil it here. I'm going to save that for an episode where we are going to talk about how we would have done it.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that. And Star Wars, how I would have done Star Wars. Maybe how we would have done the Matrix sequels, if you're not a fan of how those turned out. So
how we would do Masters of the Universe.
Hey, there you go. Well, somebody's already beat you to it, buddy. Get in line.
I know. I can't wait.
So stick around for that topic and other topics in a future episode of Low Res High Def. All right, see you next time, guys. Bye.
See you. Thank you.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Next Wave Radio Network.
That's fucking gold.